Yo, what's up, guys? Today I'm gonna be telling y'all about some stupid shit that I got caught doing a couple years ago. I'm gonna be telling you guys about the time I got caught skinny dipping with my ex girlfriend. So, this takes place a couple of summers ago. This was the summer that we turned 21. Our birthdays were only 2 days apart, and we wanted to celebrate together, but she was working a lot and house sitting a lot. So we decided that we would get each other some gifts and pull up to where she was house sitting, and we would just hang out and celebrate our birthdays together. It was also kind of a special treat because the house that she was sitting for were family friends of hers. And they knew that it was our prospective birthdays, and they wanted us to more so just enjoy having that space. They were really cool about it. We can call my ex girlfriend Ashley for this video, but before I went over there for this night, Ashley was kind of explaining that the owners of the house were totally cool with us boozing it up, swimming in their pool, or watching stuff on the TVs. And it was just really free reign. We could totally do like whatever we wanted to. So the night comes and I pull up to the house. I go up the really long driveway and I park it right in front of the gate to the backyard. Now, this was a really big, beautiful house. I don't know if you could call it a mansion, but it was pretty close to a mansion in size. 3 stories, probably 6 or 7 bedrooms and bathrooms each, respectively. And the backyard was just huge. That's really important to note for the story is the backyard was really big and it was gated with this really thin little wooden gate around it. And the entrance to that gate led to the front of the driveway by the garage doors and the garages. So we start hanging out. We give each other the gifts that we brought. I got her a funny t-shirt. She got me a poster to one of my favorite movies. We were drinking and we were just having a really good time. Ashley had to do some stuff for the house, like taking care of the pets and watering some of the plants that were in the front of the yard, in the front of the house. But once she took care of that, we really just had basically a mansion to ourselves, and it was really cool. The pool in the backyard was huge. I don't want to say it was an Olympic-sized pool, but it was absolutely massive. And this was a nice summer day, and it was really hot outside. I pulled up in the evening as the sun was coming down, but it was still, like, really nice and warm out. We decide that we want to swim in the pool, so we hop in, and we're having a really good time. We decided to light a joint while we were in the pool, just swimming around and pass it to each other. And it was really fun. Kind of stressful because, if you drop that thing in the pool, you're just out. And that would be a pretty dumb way to waste some good weed, you know what I mean? But this went on for a few hours, and at this point, it's pretty dark out. I also wanted to mention that the neighbors' houses were really far apart. The next door neighbors were probably 3, maybe 400 yards out, and none of them had gated backyards. I think that the house we were watching had a gated backyard just because they had dogs. But anyways, we're just chilling outside, smoking and drinking, and in this big ass backyard, besides the pool, it was pretty barren. Like there wasn't a lot going on. There was a little bird feeder like right behind the back of the house. And then towards the very front, like right by the entrance to the backyard, by the gate at the top of the driveway, was this little table with a couple chairs. And, we cracked a few drinks there, but we would just leave our stuff there, like our backpacks with our stuff for the night and all of the drinks that we'd bought to celebrate with. And every night at 7:30 p.m., Ashley told me this before I came over, every night at 7:30 p.m., they have these automated lights that turn on in the front and in the backyard. And they are really bright, and they're synced up to these lights in the pool. And the lights in the pool are really bright. They're so bright that if you walked over to them in the dead of the night, like if you walked up to the pool in the middle of the night, you could just see everything. It was totally illuminated, like it was daytime in that water. You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys could see where this is going, but yeah, we were hanging out for quite a few hours, and at this point it's about 8 or 9 p.m., and we were getting a little bit busy in the backyard. We were having a good time with each other, making the most of the night. And Ashley suggested that we could go skinny dipping. We started joking about it and how neither of us have ever done it before. And the more we talked about it, the more that we wanted to do it and give it a try. We can call the owners of the house the Smiths just for the sake of the video, but the Smiths are really, really cool. Mrs. Smiths is like maybe, younger 40s, like maybe 43, 42, something like that. And then Mr. Smith's probably like mid 50s. They're a really cool couple. But before we decided to go skinny dipping, Ashley texts Mrs. Smith, just letting her know that everything has been taken care of for the house. Like plants are watered, dogs have been let out, and she's going to be putting her phone down for a bit because she wants to go for a swim. Mrs. Smith promptly replies to her saying that sounds great and that their night is going well and everything is cool. So Ashley and I are standing in front of the pool, kind of looking around, taking a look to the left, to the right. None of the neighbors were out, and all the houses were pretty quiet. And they were so far away that you probably couldn't really see anything anyway. And before I could say anything else about it, Ashley just starts undressing, like right there in front of the pool. She just takes everything off. It was awesome. She takes everything off and she walks over to that tiny little table at the front of the yard, just completely naked, carrying her bikini, and throws it on top of the table with like all the beers and the booze that we bought for the night. And then she runs back over the pool and jumps in. So at this point, I can't be the odd man out. So I take off my swim trunks and I go and I throw them at the same table. And then I run and I jump in. And it was really fun. Like swimming around naked like that in the water was a pretty cool time. I'd never been in a kind of situation where I could do something like that. Not even in like the freaky sense, just having that space to do it. It felt really free, just swimming around, smoking some blunts in the water naked. It was pretty cool. We lit some joints and some blunts in the water while we were completely in the buff, you could say. But this went on for hours, and we had a few more drinks, and the night was absolutely great. And all of the sudden, while we're in the pool, completely naked, just swimming around, smoking and drinking, we see headlights pulling up to the top of the driveway behind our cars. It's almost a little tough to see at first, but we can hear the car pull up, and we can see some of the light shining through the gate into the backyard. Me and Ashley look at each other with this face of just total disbelief and fear because the Smiths were supposed to be gone for a few days, not a few hours. And as I mentioned earlier, the pool lights were on and you could see everything in there, and the backyard lights were on, and they were really bright. So we're looking at each other kind of just frozen in fear, and we don't really know what to do. In our minds, we know that we can't get out because all of our swimsuits and our towels are over by this little table at the front of the yard. So we would have to like walk in front of these headlights totally naked if we wanted to get our towels or our clothes or like our swim trunks or anything like that, her bikini and all that shit. So we just decided to stay in the pool swimming around. We just thought that was our only move, and we thought being caught skinny dipping would be better than being caught walking around naked in the backyard going up to the table. Just imagine you come home from your date night with your wife and your husband or whatever, and you see these naked college kids that you hired to watch the house. They're just naked in the backyard getting drunk off their asses. But anyways, we're in the pool and we see these headlights pull up and we see the lights shining through the gate. We don't know what's going to happen, but we see the passenger door open and this tall figure get out of the car. And from this point, we could tell that it was Mrs. Smith because we could kind of see this dress in the shadow walking in front of the headlights. She goes into the garage door and there's a trail of turned on lights as she goes through the house. Like, we could see the kitchen lights go on, the lights to the stairs go on, and then their master bedroom lights turned on. And this went on for just 1 or 2 minutes where Mrs. Smith made her way back down, and we could see all of the lights turn off as it led to the garage door. So master bedroom lights turn off, stairs go dark, kitchen lights go out. And at this point, me and Ash, we think that she's about to just go back into her car and go back out for the night with her husband. Because after all, they hired her Ash to watch the house. It's not like they're done for the night, you know? But then we hear the gate to the backyard open, and in comes Mrs. Smith. Me and Ash are super scared at this point. We don't know if she's about to yell at us for getting naked and swimming in her pool. I start to swim up a little bit towards the stairs where you get in and out of the water. That way I was kind of a little bit more covered up, but not really. Whereas Ash just said fuck it, and she was just swimming around like normal. But this is where it gets a little bit weird. Mrs. Smith walks up to us and she says hello kind of loudly, and she's not stumbling, but it's pretty apparent that she's definitely intoxicated, like a little bit drunk or something like that. Here's where things get a little bit odd. She can definitely tell that we're naked as she's approaching the pool, and instead of addressing that situation, she chooses to talk to us like nothing had happened. And she also walked right up to the edge of the pool. So if she had taken another step forward at this point, her ass would be in the water. So she's all the way up at the edge of the pool, just like looking at us and talking to us like everything is completely normal. And like she's giggling a little bit and kind of, you know, a little bit drunk and stuff like that. But for the most part, she was acting like everything was totally normal. It did feel a little bit weird because we could see her eyes darting below the waterline while she was talking to us. It wasn't like she was explicitly like staring at us or checking us out, but we could see her eyes dart, like make eye contact with us while she was talking to us. And then her eyes would dart below the water and kind of see everything underneath. Me and Ash are just happy we're not getting in trouble, and we don't really know what to say, but she's just asking us how our night was, what kind of drinks we chose for our 21st birthdays, and all that kind of shit. To which extent she told us that if we wanted to grab a nice bottle of wine out of their wine fridge in the house, we could do so, and to just text her that we're gonna take one before we take one, which was pretty cool. To which point she's just kind of done talking to us. She says goodnight and turns around and walks back out the gate. She gets into the car and we can kind of see the headlights and the light coming through the gate fade as the car pulls off. To my knowledge, she never said anything about it to Ash and acted like it really never happened. But me and Ashley were just kind of in shocked about it afterwards, and I just thought it was a crazy kind of a story because I totally thought that we were going to get in trouble. I have a few friends that I went to school with, like college, that some of them went skinny dipping and had a great time, but some of them went skinny dipping and got in like serious trouble. But we were on private property and had permission to swim there to begin with, so it wasn't a huge issue. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting story. Hope you guys liked it. Peace.